Are you ready to put together an easy peasy card for Mother's Day? I think that we all need these, as I have to give out at least like about 6 to 7 Mother's Day cards between my mom, my sisters, a couple of friends, and then my husband's family also. So, not as much obviously as Christmas cards, but I do need to pump out a few Mother's Day cards. And I think that these are the cutest little ones. It takes literally a cloud stencil, which I do believe like most of us, if you don't have a cloud stencil in your stash, I do believe that this is probably one that, is almost an essential. I mean, not quite an essential, but it's almost there for me at least. But also a pretty easy one to make yourself if you wanted to, with some acetate or something along those lines. But use that cloud stencil. I am also using some sky ink from Brass and Bliss. I figured, hey, sky, didn't give it too much thought, but no, it ended up being a beautiful color for my clouds. I just did a couple layers of them as I just wanted it to be a nice and bright day. Then I also just went up to the top and reblended the top to bring in those blue skies up there. I always think of Mother's Day, it definitely is like right at the beginning of our spring. It is here in Michigan. It definitely is like the start also. Well, maybe not so much, but like it's a great time for getting the flowers and everything for your flower gardens, especially here in Michigan, because we usually don't start that until Memorial Day weekend. That is usually like the first weekend that they say it is safe to, that you won't get a frost. Now, last year we had a very warm March, April, and May. And so I know I did put in my flowers a little bit early last year. So maybe I'm hoping for that again this year. All right. So I'm going to use this stamp set also from Brass and Bliss, this postcard. I am obsessed with the postcard look right now. I know that this is a big trend at this point. And you know what? I'm going to jump on the bandwagon of this one. Normally, I'm not a huge trend bandwagoner, but this one I love. So I was just mapping out my stamps there. I am also using one stamp from Mom set. I'll link it below. I can't remember exactly the set it was, and I don't have it right with me. But it says best mom ever with a little heart. We're not going to use that part, but here is the star of the show. I got these a little bit while back ago, and these are small dies. Let's not forget about how great small dies are too. Yes, they're a little finicky sometimes to put together, but the small dies pack a lot of power. So we are just going to cut that, the stems and everything and the leaves out of that green. And then I just did 2 colors. I could have done 3 maybe, but I was like, 2 colors should be enough. So I did like a pink and like a mango-ish color. I thought that those would pop against those blue walls. I cut out 2 of each, I believe. Yeah, 2 of each, I think, to make, I knew I needed about 6 to 8 flowers. I think I ended up using 8. I think is what we come up here. So we cut those, put all those to the side. Then I wanted to stamp this. I don't believe that I have the dies to the set, or I probably would have used them. I don't think that I have them. I need to look at that. But I love this postcard font right here. It is so detailed, guys. I know it's kind of hard to see here, but when I put the picture at the end of this video, you'll definitely see that it is very detailed with the little lions, and I love that. And it's stamped so good with this VersaFine ink. Just remember, you do want to let that dry a little bit, and I didn't right there. I keep on forgetting that this is a pigment ink, and yeah, you just need to let that dry just a little. All right. Now we're just putting down all of the elements. You could honestly put this down all together and kind of do it all together, but it was the first time I was doing this card, and I just wanted to make sure things were lining up the right way. And that, things were straight. And, when I get doing a little too much, that's when things go a little bit crazy. All right, now we're going to that's for, of course, your address, if you were going to put an address in there. And then I put the best mom ever. Now, I knew that the heart would get covered up, so I didn't want that part. You are going to see that I didn't wipe it off the best, unfortunately, right here, and that it did leave a little mark. So definitely do yourself a favor and either mask it off like I should have done. I was just being lazy, with a little piece of tape, or clean it off better. It is what it is. I knew once I seen it, I was like, oh man. But I knew that my flowers would cover it up anyways. So it was also my first time stamping that one. So I did do it twice. It almost didn't need it, but I was like, you know what? We're going to make that extra dark. I love that font, guys. Look at that. Best mom ever. I think that this will look so cute paired with some flowers for your mom, or with like a bouquet, or a hanging basket, which is most of the time what we get my mother. We all I don't know if it's in a lot of families, but honestly we all just like swap flowers on Mother's Day. I think it's pretty funny. We all want flowers at this time, and so yeah, like me and my sister just kind of like swap flowers. And then usually I get my mom a gift card for flowers, so because I never know if she wants to decorate her home or their away home, which is now the cabin. So I just kind of let her do what she would like to do. We are going to add a little bit of shadow to these petals with, I think it's crimson ink. This paper, this is, I think the scrapbook.com colored paper. I don't feel like this paper generally soaks up ink very well, no matter what ink you use. I don't know if it has like a coating on it or something, but it's the ones that, like come in the paper packs. And I need to remember that, but I did do this just for a little bit of shading. I think it did work, not as well as I would liked it to, but I think it gave me a little bit better of a red, I think, instead of so pinkish. So we're going to do that. I am going to speed this up pretty quickly because obviously this is mundane, but I did want to show you how we do that. You literally just put a little dab of glue, and each leaf has like a right and a left. I know it's a little hard to see, but you can see like there is like a little dip in the leaf. So you just want to make sure the left and the right, and then that back, that straight up and down one would go in the back. Very easy to put together. I do recommend like using a grip mat. It does make it a little bit easier. You are also seeing that I'm using my pokey tool or my pickup tool, like a little wax pen. That also makes it easier. So to pick those up, I was going back and forth between a lot of them. So, and then just on that little sprig, whatever you want to call it, you will want to put a little bit of glue and glue those down. And then like magic, we have a red and we have our mango ones, whatever, orange ones. And I'm just going to line these up on the bottom. I think that it's just so cute that it's like you're in a field of tulips. And honestly, I love when all of the tulips are blooming around here. It's so pretty. And the best mom ever is rising out of them. So I thought this idea was super cute and really easy, honestly, to put together. The most obviously time consuming part of it was probably putting together the flowers, but honestly, I cut 2 sets of them. You can see like I have a few left over. And I just went ahead and kind of just did all of the flowers and put together 2 cards pretty darn quickly, guys. So once you're like in the mode of doing those little flowers, it came together like super quick, honestly. So I threw another piece of paper back in the Misty and it re-stamped everything and knocked out 2 cards really quickly. So that's why I was like, you know what, this one is going to go up, because I think that this is definitely a keeper and one that you can just knock out pretty darn quickly. This die set also is a pretty cheap one for only about $10, and I'm sure on sale at some point in time here are coming up. So definitely bounce over to Brass and Bliss and get this picked up for you. I think that it's definitely a good staple to have. I'm always looking for those kind of staples in my collection. So, and I think that this one is a tried and true classic. I think this one will come out every year around this time and for a lot more Mother's Day cards. On Mother's Day, I try not to overthink things, obviously, as I do have a lot of cards to get down. And I think that this one definitely is a keeper. And honestly, they also have another die set of daffodils, and that could be another amazing little companion to this card. So, all right, we glued down all of our tulips there, and I felt like it needed just a little bit more. So we're going to cut off those tulips. And then right here, we're going to use this stamp set. And there was a little sentiment. Don't forget about those little sentiments. I'm sorry, I am going to be off screen just a little. I didn't know I was so focused in. You'll be able to see it. I'm going to hold it up to the camera. But it is one little sentiment. I think it says like, thanks for being the best mom. I'll have to see here in a minute. And I just put that right down at the end, and it worked perfectly. Stamp that up now. Again, so sorry that it is a little off screen. I have to... All right, it says, thanks for always being there, Mom. And look at how cute this card came out. It's so simple and easy. All right, thank you guys for being here, and let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Talk to you soon. Bye.